Hi, it's Joseph, and welcome back to the San Miguel de Allende Secrets channel on YouTube. And today we're going to talk about killer heels, or basically the history of women's footwear here in San Miguel de Allende. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to make a comment or look at the descriptive box below that has links to various websites, including Amazon.com if you're interested in purchasing any of the books in the best-selling series of San Miguel de Allende Secrets. Clearly, high heels have legs. Heels symbolize both sexuality and power, and no other woman's accessory has been enduring as high heels, nor has a complicated and controversial history like the high heel. The first heels were worn by Persian military men to be able to stand in the stirrups to shoot their bows. European courts viewed the latest in fashionable footwear and copied the heel, as height and elevation had always indicated power, confidence, and class. Plus, something so impractical to wear indicated one didn't have to work. Women copied men's heels, as by the 1600s, longer dresses and their corresponding fabric indicated wealth and ties to the royal court. High heels soon became the fashion domain of women, but click-clacked out of fashion in the late 18th century when heels were associated with the excesses of Marie Antoinette. Heels came teetering back in the 1860s with the onset of photography, and soon to follow pornography, featuring ladies in heels. Heels reached new heights figuratively and literally in post-World War II as wartime technology provided a stabilizing steel rod in the stiletto. And as everyone knows, heels change how a woman walks, initiating a wiggle for balance, as both the breasts and the butts jut out more, an indication of mating attraction. The 2013 Journal of Evolution and Human Behavior showed women in heels reviewed as walking more attractively by both genders. The main purveyor of shoes in town is the charismatic Martha, the founder of the San Miguel Shoes and local fashion icon. Despite crippling arthritis, Martha is always dressed to impress, with flawless makeup and hair a movie star would envy. Whenever we meet, I make a fuss over how lovely she looks and take her photo in appreciation of her efforts. Martha started the San Miguel Shoes with her husband, who was in the shoe business when she retired from teaching 4th grade. Anyone I've ever met that had her as a 4th grade teacher remembers her as being tough. Well, she still is. When my spouse would buy shoes by the dozen, Martha's the only person I've met better at doing math in her head than my mother. She runs her storefront like a general. Well, a general that calls me guapo. Martha has heels, but her most inventoried and sold shoes are the ones featuring hard, black rubbered soles similar to combat boots. Then across the top are multicolored straps. The soles keep the wearer from tumbling in the city of fallen women, while the straps add a bit of flair, making the show suitable for the office or nightlife. Foreign women adore the San Miguel shoes. Why, Mexican women, not so much. When I was tasked with giving away several boxes of never-worn San Miguel shoes my wife didn't want, Mexican women didn't want them either, even for free. They are simply a fashion statement only associated with foreigners. One Day the Dead, I visited the next-door state of Michoacan. Every area has their own twists on Day of the Dead, and for Michoacan folks, I noticed a photo of the dead had the same clothes worn as the photos that were lying on the deceased's altar. It made the deceased seem all the more real to one viewing their altar. Then, the next day in San Miguel de Allende, I had a cemetery tour with several sorority gals, and I mentioned the laying out of clothing, stating there were no clothes I'd come back from the afterlife for. They were quiet for a moment until one said, "My shoes. Lay out my shoes and I'll be back." And I've noticed that now for the last 2 years at the San Miguel de Allende Day of the Dead markets, you can buy sugar high heels to attract certain cobbler lovers back. As always, don't forget to click like and subscribe, and you'll get notifications of new videos as they come out in the San Miguel de Allende Secrets series.